Malalai Maiwand, a journalist and civil society activist in Afghanistan, passionate about women's rights, she had spoken about the challenges of being a female journalist in the country. Towards the end of 2020, as the then government of Afghanistan and the Taliban were Qatar negotiating the future of the country. There was a wave of violence and assassination taking place across the country.
According to the Global Assassination Monitor database, attacks on media workers such as journalists, filmmakers, and social media creators accounted for only 7% of recorded cases globally, a figure people may find surprising given the headlines these cases usually make. The Americas and Asia are the most affected continents, with about 44% cases in each. This reflects a trend of targeting those reporting on organized crime and conflict.
In December, Malalai, who was a reporter for Enikass Radio and TV, was picked up at home by her driver Muhammad Tahir, who was taking her to work in Jalalabad. It was at this moment when unidentified masked gunmen opened fire, killing both Malalai and Muhammad. The provincial governor said that assailants had fled the area. Malalai was the third journalist to be killed in Afghanistan that month. A message was being said that it's not safe to report in the country.
Armed conflict cases, like Malalai, have a hugely negative impact on civil society. For example, we've seen that the violence in Afghanistan led media workers and activists to self-censor.
The murder of journalists in Afghanistan continued into 2021 when 3 female journalists, also from Enikass Radio and TV, were assassinated in 2 separate attacks in Jalalabad.
Assassinations perpetrated by armed groups were included in the database if these groups were involved in illicit trade and the killings were targeted contract killings. These cases illustrate the nexus between crime and conflict. The methods and objectives used by armed groups are very similar to those used by mafia-style groups. Assassinations are strategically instrumental in the elimination of obstacles. Such was the case with Malalai.
What's also tragic is that Malalai's mother, who was also an activist, was also assassinated by an unknown gunman just 5 years before.